Good morning, everybody. We're here with another edition of the Edmentum, Illinois YouTube channel presents. And today we're here to talk about sticking points. And in order to do that here today, we have Dr. Neil Lesinski, who is the principal of Cary-Grove High School, Northwest Suburbs, here in District 155, which is near and dear to me. My oldest son goes to one of their rivals in District 155. So anyway, we're not going to talk too much about that, but we are thrilled to have Neil with us here today because he's very much interested in talking with us about things that they learned last year during the pandemic that they've continued to incorporate into this new school year. Neil, how are you, sir?
Doing really well. Thanks for having me this morning. As I was telling you guys prior to the call, I'm dressed in my Hawaiian gear. We got homecoming week happening right now and the big game on Saturday. So high energy environment right now. We got the pep rally tomorrow. So things are going really well. Kids are enjoying themselves. And these dress up days are a welcome thing from the remote days of last year. So it's a good place to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you were saying, the first semester sort of flies by with all the excitement.
Yeah, you kind of had these little milestones. You know, we had our open house night with parents, which we haven't done in feels like forever. And then you have the next milestone of like looking at your goals and where are we going? And then next thing you know, it's homecoming week and you're like, holy cow, we're already looking at October right around the corner. So I think the first day of fall was officially yesterday. And quarter one is ending in a week or so, and it's moving fast, but it's a really, really good year to be back for sure.
Excellent, Neil. Well, that's not why you called. So let's talk about sticking points. What is something that you've noticed so far this year that you learned in the past that's now, during the pandemic, during the remote learning, that you're continuing to incorporate into the day for the kids?
Yeah, it's interesting. So you bring up this idea of like carrying something from last year over to this year, and really what we've learned is trying to carry over our identity pre-pandemic and reconnecting with that now. I wish I could say post-pandemic, but back as we're here all in person. What I mean by that is we have these core values that we call our BCG pillars, and we developed them 4 years ago. And all of our students were so aware of them and what they meant and how they looked in their actions and things and their interactions. But what we realized this year is many of our freshmen and sophomores who haven't been on campus, they don't know what those pillars are. They don't know what our expectations are. And so what we're trying to carry forward is that awareness of, hey, this is what it means to be a Trojan. This is what we expect as you walk through the halls of your school, as you represent our school on the fields and stages. And so trying to reconnect with those values and then also demonstrate for our students what they look like on a day-to-day basis is something we're trying to carry forward. So it's nothing new. It's more of like just a reconnection to something old, but that is very important to us as a school.
Neil, love the shirt. It's a sharp shirt. So first off, aloha. Secondly, how about on the teaching and learning aspect? Were there sticking points for teaching and learning that have really come to light for you all this year?
Yes. One of the things is our staff seem to be so much more open and comfortable with trying new things and failing and learning and then trying something else. And so we are trying to continue to foster that sense of trial and error, innovation, those types of things. And our staff is really enjoying it. The other part of that is their last year and a half, they've been doing those things that are new and innovative, but almost in this isolated way. So what we're trying to do this year is reconnect. Again, you'll see that as a common theme. That's our theme this year is reconnection, but putting our staff together, giving them opportunities to collaborate, share and learn and grow from that. So what we're doing this year, it's called just a cross-departmental, cross-division collaborative experience where we put groups together, about 5 or 6 staff members from completely different divisions. So you might have a PE teacher with a SPED teacher with an English, math, science, all together in a group. And during the first meeting of the month, they'll get together and they'll talk about our focus this year is social and emotional learning. So they'll talk about an aspect of that, and then they share what they're doing and what they've tried over the last year and a half to target that area of social and emotional learning, and then hopefully steal some ideas from each other. Because as you all know, there's so many things like that they might do in PE or wellness that even a social studies teacher could steal from and say, man, that's a really good idea, a great way to get my kids up and moving in the classroom. So we're trying to take those little nuggets and those things that people learn and innovated with, continue to foster that sense of innovation and give them the opportunity to come together and share.
Love it. That's great. We talked a little bit about your homecoming dance coming up this weekend, and that it was going to be outside, which is a break from the past when it was maybe in a sweaty gym. And said, hey, maybe this is going to become a tradition now, having your homecoming dance outside. So can you tell us more about anything that, may become a new tradition, because it was something that you started last year, but you thought, hey, this is great. Let's continue to carry this forward.
Yeah, it's fun when you have an excuse to innovate. And just like our teachers did last year, we also, as an admin team, we had this excuse to innovate, which was we have to find a different way to do something that we aren't able to do otherwise. So how do you bring this experience to kids and help them have a great experience themselves, but do it in a way that's within the guidelines and safe for everybody? So, you mentioned the homecoming dance being outside, and it's on Saturday. We'll see what our students think. But as you mentioned, it's going to be nice. It's supposed to be 60 something degrees and awesome outside. And so we're hoping our kids really enjoy that. And maybe that is something that it becomes the default, is that you start outside and plan B is inside. A couple other things we did this year that I think we're going to continue to do. Did last year that we're going to continue to do this year. We actually this year was the first time we did a senior sunrise to start the school year. And it's not something that we had ever done before, but because we had this sense of isolation and trying to bring people together, it sparks these ideas of like, well, how do we do that in a really easy way? And so our seniors spearheaded this effort to get together and watch the sunrise on the first day of school. And then they all kind of came in the doors together. And it was, again, this demonstration of unity. Something we did last year was our freshman orientation involved a drive-through. So because we typically have the freshmen in our halls and doing walking their schedules and things, we couldn't do that last year. So we did a drive-through celebration. And we found that was really successful. So something that we might repeat again. And another thing that comes to mind is we did a senior celebration last year at the end of the year. It's typically our senior breakfast. So we go to a banquet hall. It's very formal. They do the senior superlatives. And this last year, we couldn't do that because we couldn't be in a confined space with that many people. So instead, our booster club provided breakfast outside in the stadium, and we had all the seniors come for a celebratory rehearsal for graduation, and then we extended it to the evening, and we had a senior celebration with food trucks and a DJ, and we had bags outside, basketball, volleyball, all kinds of stuff, and the kids came to campus and they celebrated that last day before graduation with all their friends, something we had never done before, but like a full day of celebrating our seniors from essentially morning until night. And so we found a way to do the breakfast, but then we expanded on that and actually we had a bunch of donations from our community. We gave out gift cards. It was fantastic. And we had 5 food trucks there from community vendors. So it was another great way to connect our kids with our community. And so, yeah, we're going to do something like that again this year and possibly even involve our juniors as well. So maybe expand it to more of our students. But those are a few of the nuggets that you kind of take away and you're like, I don't want to forget this. I don't want to forget how that felt or how great that was for kids and how easy some of these things are, but you don't really you don't think about doing them until you have a reason to, really. So a couple of fun things that we're looking forward to continuing.
Wow, I actually got goosebumps with some of those things, just thinking about that sheer excitement and how wonderful these events must have been. So thank you. I hope you do carry some of them through. They sound like they were just phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. And going back to Casey's question too, when you think about the classroom, even last year I'd walk the halls, it was only half the kids in a classroom. And now the classrooms are full. Not only that, kids can actually work in groups, kids can do labs, they can be hands-on. So what we're seeing is the value of that. And also, I think we assume that our students, our adolescents, they just want to be on technology all day. Well, what we learned last year was that is not the case, that some of them did enjoy the remote aspect for other reasons, but as far as the actual learning via virtual, that wasn't something that appealed to the majority of our kids. They wanted to be hands-on. They wanted to be with their classmates. And so really harnessing that, understanding that, and not taking it for granted has been a big part of what we've tried to carry over. And then balancing that technology versus non-technology. Maybe there's an efficiency that we can find with technology, but at the same time, we don't want to lose the value of the in-person experience. So that's been another focus, and that's what I've seen the biggest difference with our teachers is just trying to find that fine-tune the area in between, so you're not swinging the pendulum too far one way or the other.
Mhm. Love it.
Definitely brought a smile to my face. So I want to say thanks to you, Neil. Thanks everyone out there. We've had Dr. Neil Lesinski on today talking about sticking points, talking about connecting via reconnecting with the community. I really love the parts you said in there, connecting to the core values of the school community, connecting to the social, emotional needs, which you demonstrated by bringing out new and past traditions, and then reconnecting and also connecting faculty members to shared successes and failures. I thought that was a big takeaway from me, is allowing them to share those in order to innovate. So thanks again to Dr. Neil Lesinski, principal at Cary-Grove. It's been a wonderful chat, and I'm going to go buy me one of those shirts.
Thank you all for having me. It's wonderful to share, just as our teachers do. I love the opportunity to share with other administrators. I've been watching the channel and appreciating things that my colleagues across different districts have shared too. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to learn and to share as well.
Thanks to you.